For a change, we have a good news. I'd love to deliver this news for you, and it has something to do with the new IATF resolution. We're getting there, guys. Finally, there is a resolution. This was written yesterday. Of course, I only get it today because of the time difference. And it has something to do with the PCR test, antigen test. It is finally removed, but not for everyone. So be careful. And this is not effective until 3 days from now, May 30. Okay? May 30 is the effective date. No more tests for certain individuals. Stay with me. That's what we'll talk about. This recently reduced IATF resolution brings forth some good news for most Filipino citizens, balikbayan, people who are going back to their home country. Let's see what the resolution says. There are still some things that need to be removed, but I think everything is good now. Good time to go, except for the airfare. Airfare is still very high. I'm waiting for that to come down, and it will as the travelers come in and the season is over and things like that. Right now, we're approaching the summer season, so I'm pretty sure airfare will come down maybe sometime in October. And let's look at the resolution for now because this is a good news. Resolution 168. Resolution 168, which was issued May 26, today is the 27th, and this will take effect on May 30, starting May 30, 2022. Let's read it. For foreign nationals, now this is old news, this is not new. Foreign nationals may enter the Philippines provided they comply with the applicable visa requirement and immigration entry and departure formalities, and provided further that they are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 as defined in Section 2. This is for foreign nationals, not Filipino nationals. The exception to this is that those who are minor children below 12 years of age and traveling with their vaccinated foreign parent. Remember, traveling with vaccinated foreign parent. Now, they included something here, and I believe this is the only place where they stated it, and it's this fine print. It's a footnote. The travel insurance as an entry requirement for foreign national is no longer required but highly encouraged. As you know, under the old rule, they say Filipinos and balikbayan, Filipino citizens and balikbayan do not need travel insurance. Only foreign national, in particular those traveling with 9A visa. Okay? So, no longer required. Now, they say here that, well, you have to show the proof of COVID vaccination, and then you have to present, this is nothing new, then you have to present the RT-PCR test within 48 hours or a rapid antigen test within 24 hours. But, however, here is the but. The following shall be exempted from this pre-departure testing requirement. Foreign nationals aged 18 and above who have received primary COVID series 19 vaccine and at least one booster shot. If you have a booster shot in addition to the full vaccination, you do not need the test. Isn't that nice? Foreign nationals aged 12 to 17 who are fully vaccinated, they are also exempt, meaning no booster shot for those 12 to 17, as long as they're fully vaccinated. And also foreign nationals, 12 years and under, below 12 years old, regardless of their vaccination, who is accompanied by a parent or guardian who falls under Section A1C1, meaning vaccinated foreign parent. Okay? Now, this is very important, and I will refer back to this in the next section that I'm going to read. It says here, foreign nationals who fail to fully comply with the conditions and requisites set forth in Section A1 and 2 above. Okay, what is A1 and 2? Says they have to be fully vaccinated. Okay, fully vaccinated. And what is A2? It defines who is fully vaccinated. That means that you get your 2 doses of those vaccines that require 2 doses and 1 dose for those that require only 1. So going back to this statement, foreign nationals who fail to fully comply with the conditions set forth in 1A and 2 above inclusive shall be denied admission into the country. So, foreign nationals, you have to be fully vaccinated. Fully vaccinated. Now, that means 1 or 2 doses depending on the vaccine. Now, foreign children traveling with Filipino nationals. A foreign child or children below 12 years of age who are not vaccinated, it looks like they meant to put fully vaccinated there and they whited it out. They erased it. For reasons whatsoever, and traveling with a Filipino shall follow the entry and testing requirement and quarantine protocol of Filipino parent traveling with them. So, 12 and below, they're just there because they are not required to be vaccinated, but then they will follow the same protocol as applied to the parent they are traveling with. A foreign child or children below 12 years of age who are not vaccinated for any reason whatsoever shall follow the testing protocol of the Filipino parent. Okay, now, foreign child between 12 and 17 years of age traveling with Filipino parent shall follow the protocol based on their vaccination status. In case such unvaccinated minor child, either foreign or Filipino parents should accompany such child during their facility-based quarantine. Which means that if they're unvaccinated, this is 12 to 17, if they're unvaccinated, they will be required to quarantine and the parent will have to follow what is required of the child. That means they cannot quarantine the child alone. Now, fully vaccinated nationals, Filipino nationals. These now fully vaccinated Filipino nationals, they say, present a negative PCR test taken within 48 hours or a laboratory-based rapid antigen test, okay, within 24 hours. 24 hours for rapid antigen, 48 hours if it's an RT-PCR. This is prior to the date and time of departure of the country of first origin of embarkation in continuous travel to the Philippines. So if you're traveling from the Philippines and you start in Philadelphia, you stop in New York, you start in San Francisco, then you go to the Philippines or Manila, you will start in Philadelphia, the first originating point. You ignore the layovers, provided that he or she has not left the airport premises or you have not been admitted into another country during such layover. So, if you, let's say, stop by Japan, Tokyo, if you did not go through immigration, you were just there on a layover, in transit, you're okay. But once you get out of Japan, you go through immigration, you got out of Japan and then came back to the airport, you will need a test from the time of that departure from Japan. But as long as you're just a transient and you're not leaving the airport, you start in Philadelphia. Okay? That's where the 24 or 48-hour test start. It's in Philadelphia. There's been so much confusion about this and so many people disagreeing with this policy, and maybe it's the airline. Now, exempted from this pre-departure testing requirement, here is the good news. Filipinos age 18 and above who have received primary series COVID-19 vaccine and at least one COVID-19 booster shot. They don't require the second yet. Number 1, okay? Filipinos aged 12 to 17 who are fully vaccinated as defined above without the booster shot, okay? And Filipinos below 12 regardless of vaccination status. In which case, they will follow the parents or guardians' status category. Now, this one I added only applies to Filipino nationals. And the reason for that is this whole section is applying to Filipino nationals. So they're talking about unvaccinated, partially unvaccinated, or individual whose vaccination status cannot be validated. Okay? And do not read this as if it applies to foreigners, because foreigners definitely will need to be vaccinated. Okay? Now, for unvaccinated individuals, Filipino nationals, present negative PCR test taken within 48 hours. Let me see how I can do this. Let's say you're a Filipino citizen or a dual citizen. This is Filipino national. If you will be admitted into the country even though you're unvaccinated, or let's say they cannot verify your vaccination, okay? But in which case you will still need, this is not a change from before, a negative PCR test taken within 48 hours or an antigen test taken within 24 hours. You will be required to undergo facility-based quarantine until the release of the next RT-PCR or antigen test taken on the 5th day from the date of your arrival. And then you will be required home quarantine, so that is hotel quarantine, home quarantine until the 14th day. Only Filipino nationals are entitled to this quarantine. Foreign nationals, I'll refer you back to what I said earlier, foreign nationals are required to be vaccinated, otherwise you're out. So that has not changed yet. But if you're a foreign national, this is the big thing, and you're already vaccinated with a booster shot, you don't need to worry about PCR testing or antigen testing. You just go like before. Also, fine print, it says there, this time it's foreign nationals. Foreign nationals, and of course Filipino nationals as well, are no longer required to have medical insurance or travel medical insurance, which is a pain in the neck. So, well, this is even more pain in the neck is the antigen testing, and they're eliminating that now. Isn't this great? So I am going to put down below a link where you can request a copy of this. The only addition that I personally put in myself is this section here only applies to Filipino nationals. In addition to the fact that in the very first section, foreign nationals who fail to fully comply with the conditions and requisites set forth in section 1A and 1.2 shall be denied admission into the country. So that is one very clear statement. And that is the reason why I assume that in that other section, I assume that is for Filipino nationals. So guys, this is really good news. I'll appreciate this if you can share this with some of your friends or relatives who will be going back home to the Philippines. They do not have to do, if you have the booster shot. But if you're fully vaccinated, meaning 2 shots of the 2-shot vaccine or 1 shot of the 1-shot vaccine, which I think is Johnson & Johnson, you will still be required to submit those tests. But if you have a booster shot, you're home free. And also, travel insurance is no longer required. Those are the 2 major changes here. All the rest are more or less the same as before. So, I still would refrain from using, if you are required to submit a negative test, I still would refrain from using the self-test on antigen, or get it from a laboratory or a hospital or or pharmacy. But you don't have to worry about it once you already have a booster shot. So just go ahead and get a booster shot, guys. Especially if you already got the 2 shots. The booster shot is almost nothing. In fact, I have been getting email from, I can't remember the name of the outfit who's giving out the fourth vaccine, which is the booster shot number 2. And I have been ignoring it. Maybe I'll get it at some point as I approach going to the Philippines. Whether the Philippines requires this or not, I will probably get it just for my own safety. And I know there are a lot of negative people there saying, oh, booster shot doesn't do anything for you. Vaccines don't do anything for you. Guys, I still believe in science. Although I question some of it, I weigh the pluses and the minuses, and I know that some people are saying that, gee, you can see the people who were vaccinated and they still got sick. Number one, it could be fake news. Number two, a vaccine is not a guarantee you're not going to get it, but at least you're not going to get seriously hospitalized or get hospitalized at all. And you may be down for a week or so, and at least you're not going to the cemetery or the hospital. So all I'm saying is you're entitled to your own opinion. You don't have to be negative about it down below. If you don't believe it, then don't believe it. But unfortunately, this is what you have to go through. And again, this is a good news. Please do share it with others. And I'll appreciate it if you click like on my video. And please do subscribe to my channel unless you have already done so. Thank you for watching. God bless, and make it a great day.